Let's get started with John Lennon, one of the most famous musicians to have ever lived. Sure, he may have done some drugs, but I'm reasonably certain that that was unrelated. Definitely. John Lennon believed that he was abducted by aliens as a child in Liverpool, UK, and then put back on the Earth. This wasn't the last time he encountered aliens either. He spotted an alien at his apartment in 1974, and then, later, he said he was visited by 4 bug-like aliens while he was in bed with a sleeping Yoko Ono. Lennon told his friend Uri Geller that the aliens had given him a silver egg. Some conspiracy theorists say that the reason Lennon was murdered was because he came too close to the truth about extraterrestrials. Wow. Coming in at number 9, we have the Phoenix Lights incident. In March 1997, just over 20 years ago, a lot of people from Arizona and Nevada in the United States, as well as many people from northern Mexico, reported seeing large spherical lights of different colors in the sky. Many say they saw red, orange, yellow, and white lights flying around with no explanation. Many credible sources came forward to say that they had seen the lights, including the Arizona governor, Fife Symington. He said it was bigger than anything that he'd ever seen, and it remains a great mystery. Interestingly, some people reported an amnesia-like state following their exposure to the lights. Up next, we can't have an alien encounter without mentioning Roswell, can we? Roswell! Recently, a US Army vet broke a 44-year-long silence about his personal Roswell experience, something that he says will haunt him for the rest of his life. Roswell, of course, is the name of an event that saw the US military sensationally announce that they had found a crashed UFO in Roswell, New Mexico, only to retract the statement the next day. So what was going on? The unnamed former Air Force pilot gave his account of the event in Roswell that to him happened 24 years after the original sighting. He said that he and around 500 military personnel spotted 2 UFOs flying in erratic patterns for 5 hours straight. Weird. Up next, we have British children's author Mike Oram. Up until he visited Area 51 in Nevada, Mike's experience with aliens had been wholly positive. Mike said that he had a space brother, like a guardian angel who looked out for him since he was a child. Mike said that he regularly saw UFOs flying over Essex near London in the United Kingdom. Fascinated by aliens, he and his wife wanted to go to the ultimate alien hotspot, Area 51. When they approached the off-limits top-secret American base, Mike claims he and his wife were abducted by malevolent aliens intent on harming them, but luckily, his guardian alien angel rescued him. Mike revealed that there are good and bad alien tribes. Some of them want to help the Earth and others want to harm it. Mike said that he spent 3 days vomiting up white powder after his experience, and that his wife said that she would never ever set foot in America again. Coming in at number 6, we have Double Trouble. A set of twins, Audrey Hewins and her identical twin sister Debbie, said that they were visited by aliens from the age of 5 at their home in Ohio. The pair said that the aliens started experimenting on them at age 12, and they had countless experiences with what they described as bald men. Audrey recalled her and her sister saying to their parents, "We don't want to go to bed as the bald men are coming." They had some kind of gut feeling as to when their next cosmic abduction would be. Audrey claimed the aliens also once saved her from drowning. Next up at number 5, did you know that chess was invented by aliens? Kirsan Ilyumzhanov, the president of the World Chess Association, is 100% certain that he was abducted by aliens. He said that on a September evening in 1997, he was abducted by aliens in yellow suits who pulled him up to their spaceship and gave him oxygen. He spent the day in outer space and describes the aliens as people like us with the same minds and the same visions. There's a really great interview with him and Al Jazeera on YouTube where he speaks very frankly and in detail about his experience. He even says that he thinks chess came from outer space. Coming in at number 4, we have a hybrid human. A 6'3" blonde female Canadian believes that she was implanted in her mother's womb as a surprise to her twin brother when her mother was 8 months pregnant. There is a really good video interview with Lisa on YouTube with 1.7 million views. Francophone Lisa from Quebec uses a translator to help her tell her story. She says her mother decided to go upstairs to have a lay down when she was pregnant. When she lay down, she was paralyzed and saw a metallic grey object. She saw 2 small human beings with bug-like eyes and heard them say, "She's not ready," whilst another said, "Yes, she is." Lisa's mother was unaware at this point that she was expecting twins. So far, the doctors had only seen one baby, so that's what she thought she was having. Many years later, Lisa's mother believes she was visited again, this time by an alien doctor who told her that aliens had all of the cures to human diseases, but it would not be administered as humans were not supposed to be sick. Lisa herself believes that she is a hybrid human and has psychic powers. She also once experienced the feeling of being a lizard. Talk about close encounters at number 3, this man claims to have had 40-minute-long sex with a 3-meter-long female alien. Chinese farmer Meng Zhaogu was working outdoors in Wuchang, China in 1994. This was when he saw a metallic shimmering object near the mountains. He feared it was a downed helicopter, but his fears were soon alleviated when he blacked out. The next thing he knew, he was having sex with a 3-meter-long alien with 12 fingers. Meng said following his raunchy encounter that he was afraid of anything made out of iron. Weird. The police were suspicious and conducted a lie detector test, which he passed. I mean, if you think that all of the above was weird, then our number 2 insane alien encounter is from a woman who claims to have 10 alien children and to have had extremely primal sex with lizard-like aliens. Bridget Nielsen, who posts videos on a channel called Hybrid Children, claims that she is from a family lineage of alien collaborators. She says her grandparents were abducted and her mother too. She says that she regularly visits a spaceship, and when she was old enough, she had alien children. She explained her alien lovemaking, saying, "It was great. It was an incredible super primer, super raw, super sexual experience." She said there was really a lot of freedom and we were really going for it. It was the best sex I ever had. There we have it. Finally, at number 1, we have the infamous tale of Travis Walton, perhaps one of the best known and most insane alien abduction stories ever. In 1975, 22-year-old Travis Walton was working as a logger in the Apache Stigreaves National Forest in Arizona when him and his crew came across a spaceship. While his work crew begged Travis not to approach the steely grey object, he did, and it had dire consequences. Travis' story goes that he was struck by the object as it took off, killing him, but amid a humanitarian plight to save him, the aliens took him on board and brought him back to life. During this time, Travis was missing for 5 days, and police officers even suspected his workmen of killing him. Walton remembers seeing bald, short creatures in a hospital-like room, and then remembers nothing until he was found walking along the highway. He and his workmates all took lie detector tests and were found to be telling the truth, according to the test anyway. Travis's story led to the creation of the 1993 movie Fire in the Sky.
Starting off this very scary list, in at number 10... What you just saw was a declassified footage that has recently been released by the Department of Defense. US Navy pilots encountered an unidentified flying object flying just over the sea. The footage you just saw was captured on a Raytheon At-Flare pod, which is a very expensive device that has multi-sensors on it, and it can track and capture things in the distance at very high speeds. The Department of Defense has declined to comment on this video, but the agency did confirm to the media that the US government had run a program for investigating reports of UFOs. They weren't sure if this could maybe be a threat. Maybe they thought Earth was being attacked. Maybe the aliens was just scoping out Earth, to just see if they can invade. Pretty freaky, so let's move on. What you're about to see next is very terrifying. An alien invasion is up next at number 9. The footage I'm about to show you guys was filmed in 2015 in Egypt by an Egyptian student. Alright, so let's actually see what people had to say about this video that was posted on YouTube. First up we have Robin Carolo 0628 fake. Next up we have Mark B says, "It's too perfect, therefore it's fake." Squad YT said, "Sorry, that was my frisbee. I threw it so long and now I lost my frisbee. Solid work, especially out of zoom. OMG. Alright, well let me show you guys this video slow down a bit and zoom in on it. Alright, so we've had enough of that. Let's move on. Let's move on to number 8. This next legend comes from Kenneth Arnold, who believes he saw an alien UFO on June 24th, 1947. Just remember this year to the end of the video, 1947, because there was another sighting just a month after this date. Kenneth Arnold was a private pilot when he saw 9 unidentified flying objects, and they flew past Mount Rainier, which is located in Washington. Kenneth estimated these flying objects going at a minimum speed of 1,200 miles an hour, which is around 1,932 kilometers an hour. This is much faster than commercial planes we have today. But remember, this is 1947. This was during World War II, which was in the 40s. The fastest plane was the Supermarine Spitfire. So it for sure wasn't a plane made by man, because we never made planes that can go that fast in the 40s, which only leaves us to believe that these flying objects were not from Earth. The question is, where did they come from? Now that's a scary question. I'm not sure if I want to know. The Alderney alien sighting back in 2007 that was spotted by 2 different people come in at number 7. This one's pretty freaky. Okay, so we all know people can make up stories all the time, right? Well, what is the chances of 2 different pilots seeing a UFO at 2 different times and they didn't even know the other person have seen it? Okay, let me explain. Captain Ray Bauer was flying a routine passenger flight for the civilian airliner Allegheny Air Services when he and his passengers saw 2 UFOs in the distance. Ray Bauer was afraid at first to report what he saw because this can actually ruin his career. Okay, imagine this. This pilot says he's seen a UFO. You don't want that guy flying your plane, do you? Another pilot who didn't even know that someone else saw another spacecraft in the air made the same report. Alright, moving on to number 6.
Scientists from all over the world are trying to figure out what caused a mysterious blue light to spiral in the sky over Norway on Wednesday.
A strange blue light was seen in the Norwegian skies back in 2009. People were freaking out about this, and many had conspiracy theories on what it could be. Experts believe that this light was actually a failed missile launched by Russia's military, but a lot of people don't believe that. They believe that this is an alien cover-up. I don't know, what do you guys believe? And I didn't even ask you guys, do you even believe in aliens? Are there UFOs? Okay, moving on to number 5. For scary alien urban legends, back in 2010, there was an unidentified flying object that was spotted above an airport in China. The airport was actually closed down due to the sighting. Everyone was actually freaking out. Okay, if I saw this in the air, I would also be freaking out. I mean, what is that? Google captured a UFO on camera, and this shockingly comes into number 4.
Jacksonville, Texas, and go to the street view, then pan around, and there it is. A thing that I don't know what...
I actually know what it is. It's obviously an alien spacecraft, and it's coming for people in Jacksonville, Texas. Let's see what other people think it is.
What is it? I don't know what it is. Look at it.
Now what is that? A car in the sky?
I looked up...
Okay, what the heck did that woman just say? Okay, is this real life right now? What is going on in Texas? Okay, let's not ask any more questions because I don't think we're gonna have the answer for this one, so let's move on. Next up on our list, at number 3, let me take you guys over to India for this one, where this image was seen by people and it actually went viral all over the news. This video is actually insane and I don't know what that thing is. This might actually be the most plausible encounter to alien life. I'm not kidding. It's massive and the most prominent that we've ever seen. It's the most prominent for sure on our list. India has actually been known for UFO sightings. Recorded sightings go back to like 1951, where 25 people in New Delhi saw a UFO hovering over them, and then they all said that it just suddenly vanished. At number 2, we have this insane footage that was actually just captured maybe about 5 months ago. And we actually know what this is, so yeah, so this took place in Southern California, and everyone was fearing that an alien invasion was happening. For many people, the end of the world was actually happening at that moment. Well, it ended up just being a rocket that SpaceX launched as part of their tests that they've been performing. I'm not sure if they told the public. People were freaking out. Well, many people believe that it was a rocket. Well, to this day, people believe that yeah, it was a rocket by SpaceX, but some people actually believe that SpaceX and the media is just lying to try try to cover up this alien encounter. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any alien encounters? Let me know in the comment section below. If not, just make something up. And I'll try to read your guys' stories on a live show, so go wild down there. Finally, at number 1, let me take you guys back to 1947, where an alien made international headline news. Back on July 8th, 1947, the Army Air Forces announced that an alien spacecraft was found. So that was reported by ABC News. It was probably reported on a TV that looks something like this, or on a radio that looks like this. I don't even know what that is. After that was reported, there were many conspiracy theories surrounding what people thought to be an alien spacecraft. People thought the spacecraft had extraterrestrial beings inside, and the military knew about it, and they just covered it up.
Starting off at number 10, we have the Pyramids of Giza. When you see the size of the pyramids in Egypt, and then you find out that they are over 4,500 years old, you can't help but be impressed. For some people though, they think it's so impressive, it's actually unbelievable that they were built by the ancient Egyptians. They say there was no way they would have been able to move the 2-ton stones before the invention of the wheel. They also say that the pyramids line up perfectly with the stars and the sun. During the summer solstice, from the view of the Sphinx, the sun sets right between the Great Pyramid and its neighbour. Conspiracy theorists say that for the Egyptians to be able to do this, they must have known the date of the summer solstice and therefore the exact length of the year, a fact that was not discovered until many years later. Historians have an answer for everything, but there's always questions that some people who believe in it have that make them think it was the work of aliens. Moving on to number 9 now, we have the Moai. I'm sure you guys recognize these huge stone figures, their bodies covered in years of mounding dirt. They average 13 feet tall and weigh some 14 tons. They're found on Easter Island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Historians say they were built over 1,000 years ago by the Rapa Nui people, who eventually went extinct, possibly due to an environmental disaster. Of course, some people say there is no way these people could have constructed them on such a remote island, and that aliens must have been involved somehow. At number 8 now, we have Sacsayhuaman. This massive citadel was first built in Peru and became the capital of the Inca Empire. The place is famous for its dry stone walls made of massive stones, some weighing up to 360 tons. The stones themselves were taken from 22 miles away. Historians' theories have proposed that they were moved by hundreds of men using strong ropes. As with the massive stones used in Egypt's pyramids, alien theorists believe there was no way the Sacsayhuaman stones could have been moved and placed without intervention from advanced beings. Coming at number 7 now, we have the Nazca Lines. These are hundreds of lines in Peru's Nazca Desert that cover some 170 square miles in size. They depict sharks, lizards, orcas, spiders, monkeys, and many other animals. They are said to have been created by the Nazca culture in the 5th and 6th centuries, but some people say that there is no way people back then could have had such precise measurements to create these huge animals that are only really visible in their entirety from high above. Conspiracy theorists believe that visitors from space came to Earth and left large tracks in the sand. The Nazca people then drew the animal figures in an attempt to call back the people that they saw as gods. Next up at number 6 now, we have the face on Mars. We're going to leave Earth momentarily for this one and take a trip to our nearest planetary neighbour. In 1976, the Viking 1 orbiter took this famous picture of the surface of Mars. Among the rocks and sands appeared to be a face. Right there. Since day one, scientists have just dismissed the face as nothing more than a trick of the light, a shadow angle just right so we see something familiar. Conspiracy theorists say that, as you may have guessed by now, this was built by an advanced alien race who presumably have faces like ours, or at least based the artwork on us. In 2001, a NASA surveyor took a very detailed picture of the same spot and saw nothing. So I'm not too sure about this one. Moving on to number 5 now, we have Waffle Rock. This is a big lump of sandstone near Jennings Randolph Lake in West Virginia. For hundreds of years this was referred to as Indian Rock by the descendants of European settlers. Neither they nor the Native Americans knew where it came from though. It stood out against everything around it. In modern times, scientists have identified it was a natural hermatite grid pattern that occurs on sandstone under the right conditions. Some people believe this rock is not of earthly origin though and may have been brought here by aliens. Next up at number 4 now, we have the Derinkuyu underground city. In this giant underground city in Turkey, there is enough room to house some 20,000 people with food and livestock. It was built by the Phrygians about 2,700 years ago. It's truly an impressive structure, and engineers have praised how well ventilated it is, considering it descends some 200 feet underground. For some conspiracy theorists though, this level of engineering goes well beyond that of this ancient people. Did they receive outside help? And by outside, I mean outside of Earth. Some people certainly think so. Coming at number 3 now, we have the Trilithon of Baalbek. Located in Lebanon, this ruin has 3 stones that are estimated to weigh over 750 tons. The temple was built by the Romans just over 2,000 years ago. However, there is evidence that the 3 huge stones may have been cut hundreds of years before that. In addition to them, there is also a 4th stone in the temple known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman. It is the largest single stone ever cut by humans, weighing an estimated 1,200 tons, equivalent to about 3 Boeing 747s. Some people say there is no way the Romans or an even more ancient people could have done that, and you guessed it, it must have been aliens. Moving on to number 2 now, we have Teotihuacan. This is an ancient city located in the Valley of Mexico. It's thought to be one of the first cities in the Western Hemisphere, and certainly the largest one before the early 15th century. They used complex mathematics and astronomical observations to construct huge pyramids such as the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Sun. Ancient alien theorist Erich von Daniken believed that the city was built by space aliens who lived there before humans even existed. He points to the pyramid's alignment with Orion's belt as evidence. He also talks about a mineral embedded in the buildings called mica. It's a silicate material only found 3,000 miles away in Brazil. It's known to be stable when exposed to electricity. Now Eric believes this all adds up to electricity using aliens in Mexico all those years ago. And finally at number 1 now, we have Stonehenge. It's perhaps one of the most famous structures in the world and has fascinated people everywhere. The stone circle in England was built over 4,000 years ago. It's thought the ancient Neolithic people used it as a religious site due to the many burial grounds nearby. The standing stones are around 13 feet high, 7 foot wide, and weigh around 25 tons. Alien theorists don't just think the stones were carried there by advanced alien technology. Some of them even go further and say that Stonehenge itself was a landing pad for an alien spaceship. Kind of makes the other one sound a little bit more reasonable, doesn't it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Coming in at number 10, we have communicate with them. Before we, on a more global scale, go all guns blazing, it would be a good idea to figure out what the aliens want. Perhaps they aren't being aggressive, but their behaviour isn't understandable to us. We shouldn't be quick to be aggressive to them because they might just be being inquisitive. There is no point starting an unnecessary war if they're just looking to say hi. After communication, we will have a good idea on whether they're collaborators or if we're at war. Coming in at number 9, we have researched them. At this point in our history on Earth, we know a reasonable amount about the wider universe. But not everything by any means. Not only could the aliens have very key knowledge that will help us when puzzling together the cause and reason for our existence, they may also have knowledge of other living colonies. Research will also help us know how these beings survive, where they come from, and what their motives might be, and again, what kind of weapons they may have in their arsenal. Coming in at number 8, we have stay in tune with the news. If aliens are planning on invading, it could be really quick or really slow. Assuming they don't have a big old laser that can just wipe out humanity in one instant, you better stay tuned to social media and the news to see what is happening near you. That way you will be prepared to move or defend yourself if you have to. Speaking of those giant lasers, coming in at number 7, we have avoid national monuments. If Independence Day or Mars Attacks or pretty much any other alien movie is anything to go by, then you really are gonna want to get away from those national monuments. In movies, aliens always seem very keen to zap like the White House, Big Ben, or the Great Wall of China into oblivion for reasons unknown, so personally, I would stay clear. Seriously though, monuments are usually found in big cities, which if I was an aggressive alien hellbent on killing people, I'd probably go to those big cities first with my alien rays, because it's just a lot easier to kill people when they're all together than sparse in the countryside. Coming into number 6, we have avoid mass hysteria. In times of upheaval, upheaval, people tend to lose it, and this is a big mistake. Freaking out only makes you susceptible to more problems. You don't want to get hot-headed with someone in the car park of Walmart, for example, when they're trying to loot a store, because it's just not worth fighting over that tin of beans. Fighting one another won't help. People will get hysterical, but you just need to not be one of them. Coming in at number 5, we have find shelter. If aliens are attacking you, as a civilian, you may need to duck and cover. You may need to find a base and stay there for a while. Some people will have fallout shelters, which can be a great place to wait it out. Either way, who knows what kind of chemicals the aliens will fight with? The chances are you don't want to be outside to expose yourself to any potential radiation. Coming in at number 4, we have stock up on supplies. You should always have a good supply of food and water because it will be helpful in many different types of danger. Dried foods, tin foods, packet foods, these are all good things to store just in case, as are large water containers. You should also make sure that you have any medical supplies you may need to stay alive. For example, if you're diabetic, you'll need insulin, you'll need inhalers if you're asthmatic, and epinephrine if you have strong allergies. Glasses, contact lenses, bandages, all things good to keep in your store bag. Coming in at number 3, we have brush up on your survival skills. If by any chance you find yourself evacuated from your home, your knowledge of survival skills will be imperative. Learning how to build and start fire, how to create shelter in all conditions, and how to forage for food and water will help you live in unusual conditions. Also, knowing what to wear, where to go, and what to look out for could save your life. Coming in at number 2, we have keep the population up. Oi oi. Guys, you know what to do. So if the aliens' primary goal is to destroy humans, then we need to keep on making more humans. We need to keep the species alive. So yeah, I'm guessing that everybody getting lucky tonight. Finally, coming in at number 1 of our top 10 ways to survive an alien invasion, we have Know Your Advantage. Remember the movie Signs? Sure, it received extremely mixed reviews, but it also taught us a very valuable lesson. The aliens were allergic to water. Why they invaded planet Earth, which is 4/5 water, we don't know. But moving on. While Signs may not have been factually on the money when it comes to alien invaders, all life as we know it has a weakness, and if we find theirs, like fire for example, we may be able to fend them off, or even run them out of this Earth. Let's just hope that they don't come back stronger and more hellbent on killing us, because that could be a problem. So this was the top 10 ways to survive an alien invasion. I think our secret number 11 should be Write Them a Song, because I really like my aliens song. I think they'll just be endeared by us and move on. If it does happen though, I'm not sure if I'd be more scared than absolutely fascinated. We may encounter aliens in our lifetime, and who is to say if they'll be aggressive or not? If we do ever find signs of life out there, it will be an absolute game changer for our understanding of our place in the universe. And to be honest, that's quite exciting.